Hello everyone, this is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful Rabbit Hole, King Dio, and the upcoming Lauren Frey. Lately, I've been getting a lot of comments in regards to my opinion on The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, particularly how it's one of the best games ever made and how the gaming media has severely downplayed it. My viewers, well, I don't want to call them viewers. There are certain people out there, people in quotation marks. You have a couple of low IQ, low income, degenerate fucks who are trying to convince you that Breath of the Wild is really beloved by the media. Look at all the Game of the Year awards it's winning. Look at all the look at how it's getting placed on a top 100 games of all time list. Look at how beloved it is. There are no game journalists trying to downplay Breath of the Wild, and what you have to understand is that that's surface level shit, right? Like when I'm talking about game journalists downplaying Breath of the Wild, or Nintendo in general, like, it's specific influential individuals who deliberately promote themselves or are promoted by the industry as being more insightful or critical than the average generic game journalist, right? I'm talking about people like Jim Sterling. I'm talking about people like companies like Niche Gamer. I'm talking about like people who advocate for this idea that indie games or games from smaller publishers are better than what Nintendo is putting out, right? Like Jim Sterling in particular. Like, what did he say when Breath of the Wild came out? Horizon Zero Dawn was way better. There were a lot of people like that back in 2017. Like, Horizon Zero Dawn is better. Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be better. Metal Gear Solid 5 was better. Witcher 3 was better. There were a lot of people like that. And there still are. But the thing is, Breath of the Wild has proven itself to be so popular and so well loved among the community. It's really difficult for the vast majority of game journalists to come out and say this kind of thing openly. They have to be subtle about it. They have to try and manipulate their audiences into believing certain things and believing that Zelda has some critical design flaw that has gone unnoticed by millions of players. That they have to. It's the same reason they can't downplay the average Zelda game or so many of these iconic Nintendo games. Like, it's just too popular. They're trying to the best of their ability, but they have to still throw it on top 100 lists, even while they're trying to convince you that, Horizon was better, Witcher 3 was better, Red Dead Redemption 2 was better. I just looked at IGN's top 100 list, and Breath of the Wild was a lot lower than it really should have been. It was number 30, 35 or some shit. I think The Last of Us was just above it. I think Witcher 3 might have been above it. There was I would say Breath of the Wild has proven itself to be a lot better than a lot of the games on that list, and the results did not reflect that. That's what I mean when I say the game is being downplayed. There are games that it is clearly better than that the game journalists there are games that Breath of the Wild is clearly better than that game journalists will try to pretend is superior to Breath of the Wild. There are games out there like that, and that is unacceptable. No one should be praising Red Dead Redemption 2 in 2022. No one should be talking about The Last of Us or Uncharted or The Witcher, Cyberpunk 2077. All of that is irrelevant. It really is. No Man's Sky. Breath of the Wild is better than all of that, and yet somehow it doesn't get the same amount of praise and attention from the media. Right now, we're seeing Breath of the Wild 2 is on the way out, and game journalists are refusing to talk about it much at all. That game trailer I saw was one of the most exciting things Nintendo has shown off in a long time, I would say, since the original Breath of the Wild trailer, and I haven't seen a lot of discussion about it. Like, what people are getting hyped over is fucking Elden Ring. Like, Dark Souls, but in an open world environment with none of the innovations or quality that Breath of the Wild had. Like, Elden Ring is not going to be able to compete with Breath of the Wild 2. And I don't see a lot of people talking